There are over 6,000 ski resorts in the world, and my goal this winter season is to ride at, rank, and review as many of them as possible. And today, I will be giving you my full breakdown of Jack Frost Ski Resort in Pennsylvania. So this year I am doing a ranking system where I rank these resorts both regionally and then worldwide. So regionally, this one would fit into the Mid-Atlantic region, and I rank them from F to S tier. So obviously F being the worst and S being superb, the best it could be. So without further ado, let's figure out where Jack Frost ranks both regionally and then worldwide. So for those of you that are familiar with Jack Frost, you know that there is a sister mountain to this one called Big Boulder. Today, we're just going to be talking about Jack Frost, and then in my next review, I will go over Big Boulder. So just know that these resorts are connected. If you buy a lift ticket to one, you get to ride at the other one. So today, I will just be focusing on my time at Jack Frost. All right, so with that out of the way, let's jump into some mountain stats about this resort. Jack Frost has an elevation of 2,000 feet, a vertical drop of 600 feet, 20 runs, 100 skiable acres. Somehow, I don't know how it has 100 skiable acres. I've been there a few times, and it does not feel like a resort that has 100 skiable acres, but that's what I found from Google and chat and everywhere. So I'm going with it, 100 skiable acres, and then it has 6 lifts, 5 of them are chair lifts, and then they have 1 magic carpet. So let's just jump into my kind of experience at riding at the resort, and then we can obviously get into my ranking. So the first time I went there was on a trip with went with my girlfriend at the time, Christina, now my wife, and a couple of my other buddies, one of my good buddies, Kalen, and then a couple of his high school buddies. So shout out to them. One of them, his name's Julian. He's very, very good at park riding. I guess he grew up doing park, and he was much better than me at park. Not that that's hard. I'm not very good at park. But anyways, shout out to them. So we went up there with them and stayed at a hotel just down the road from Jack Frost and Big Boulder, which we stayed there because there was limited housing options, which I'll get into in a second. But we stayed at a hotel. Yeah, it was a fun time. I mean, we rode, and then really kind of the only thing I remember about the trip other than, kind of riding was we tried to go buy beer. And for some reason in Pennsylvania, they have weird alcohol laws, and we had to go drive to a warehouse, an alcohol beer warehouse thing. I don't know. I guess for people in Pennsylvania, that's the normal. But for me, that was weird. But anywho, so yeah, good trip. And then this was my first time back going this season, so went and checked it out. I will say that the crowd that rides there always had kind of a good time. They all seem like they're kind of just having fun. I wouldn't say it's a party mountain by any means, but it is I would say just a crowd that's having fun on the slope. So I think that's cool. It's always cool to go to a resort that has good vibes. Now, where's it located? It is in Carbon County, is what it's telling me. Carbon County, and it's very close by to its sister mountain, Big Boulder, which once again I'll talk about in my next review. I'll go over Big Boulder, but just know that if you get a lift ticket to this one, you also get to go ride at Big Boulder. However, outside of Big Boulder being nearby it, there's literally nothing nearby. It actually kind of feels like a ghost town. I remember the first time I went, kind of went on that buddy trip. I remember driving through it and just being yo, this place is dead. So when I went back, I was interested to see if it had gotten developed, because I went maybe right at the beginning of COVID. It might have even been pre-COVID that I went. And so I was interested to see if the place had been developed, because I remember driving through and there was just abandoned buildings everywhere. And unfortunately, nothing has changed. It is still very, very, very bleak. A lot of abandoned buildings, shut down businesses and restaurants. So yeah, just do know if you're going there to ride. You're not going there to do much else, because there's not else much to do there. So let's jump over to the riding portion of it. So let's talk about the terrain and the resort. So how much does it cost to come ride at Jack Frost? The cost, well, if you're lucky enough to have the Epic Pass, it's free, other than the purchase of your Epic Pass, because this is a resort that's on the Epic Pass, and I believe there's no blackout dates, and there's no restrictions, so you can just go ride here as many times as you like, as often as you like. Now, if you are going to get a lift ticket for a weekday, it is $79, and on the weekend, it is $109, which hopefully you have an Epic Pass, and that's why you're riding here. Also, one thing that is cool is if you do get a lift ticket, though, you do get access to its sister mountain, which is Big Boulder. Now, talking about the run selection, it does have everything. It's got everything from Bunny Hills to Blacks. I will say, I guess multiple days here, but really 2 different trips, and both times I've ever come, which is not surprising, it's in Pennsylvania, which is kind of known for having fluctuations in the temperature, which means now being in Pennsylvania, you're going to get more icy days, I would say, than slushy days. Once you get into kind of the West Virginia area, you get more slush days. When you're in Pennsylvania and above, just because it's more north, you get more ice days, and I can say every time I've ever been there, it's been extremely icy. That's not surprising though, just given where it's located on Earth. It is very small. They do have a lot of lifts for the size of the resort, but they are, they're slow. They're slow runs. I did ask multiple locals and ski patrol people what their favorite runs were, and almost everybody said Challenger was their favorite run, which is one of the black. It is for the resort. It's a cool run, I guess. And there is no night riding at this resort. All of the night riding, if you're going to go to ride ride around this area, you would go to the sister resort, which is Big Boulder. They are pretty much only open for night riding, which is kind of unique. So here, Jack Frost, you're going there for daytime riding, and then if you want to go do night riding, you'd have to drive over to the other resort, which is Big Boulder. Once again, if these resorts were connected as one resort, it would be like a pretty good sized resort. But since this is just like a standalone resort, Jack Frost, it is small and there's no night riding. And also, like, at least for us when we were there visiting, it's hard to motivate yourself to go and drive to another resort after you kind of done a day of riding. So that is a little interesting that they have those separated, because that does make it very hard to motivate yourself to go drive to another resort to go do night riding. But anyways, that's the runs. Let's move over to the actual resort and food options. So they have cafeteria food there. But I will say, now that I've been hitting a lot of these epic resorts, they do have pretty good, like, not food selection, but for like the price, I'd say it's pretty good. Like, I always seem to get the chicken tenders and fries if I do go to any of these spots, and they all seem to have relatively the same pricing. Epic Pass holders get a discount. So like, I will say the cafeteria, pretty good. I mean, they had like the standard Epic Pass Resort cafeteria food, which all seems to be the same here in the Mid-Atlantic region, at least. Now, if you're moving off of the resort, once again, there's like literally nothing. It's like kind of low-key a ghost town nearby. However, once again, I did talk to locals on the chairlift, and I kept hearing the name Murph's Hideaway. I did drive by it. I did not go and eat there, but I did drive by it. And I did have a couple people tell me that that's the local spot to hit. I guess it's more of kind of like a pub restaurant. Anyways, there you go. Now, moving over to housing. Extremely limited housing options. That's why me and my buddy stayed at a hotel. Now, hotel, dirt cheap. There are a couple hotels nearby, and they are all very, very, very cheap. Moderately, you know, you're between like 50 and $100 a night for the hotels. However, for like Airbnb cabins, like there's no cabins on the slopes by any means. There are Airbnbs kind of nearby, but like few and far between. Once again, was talking to locals there, and a lot of them were just going there for like day trips or had their own some sort of housing situation that they had access to. So let's move over to my ranking of Jack Frost. For my ranking, once again, I give them credit. I think all the slopes, or maybe there was like one run that was not open while I was there, but like, look, they're blowing snow. They're working with what they got. It's not a massive resort by any means, not a big vertical drop. So there's no slight, like, had no bad interactions with any of the people there. Just got to rank it for what it is. So I would be giving, for the Mid-Atlantic region, if we're going from F to S tier, I would place Jack Frost in the C tier. Then if we're moving over to worldwide, I would be placing Jack Frost in the D tier. Once again, no shade of them, no ill will, nothing like that. Just saying, like, rating it for what it is, I would put it in the D tier worldwide. So hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with my rankings. And then also, if you like my sweatshirt that I'm wearing, it says work from home day. I give away a different piece of merch in every video review that I do, or any ski resort review that I do. All that you have to do to be able to get a free piece of merch is subscribe to my channel, leave a comment on this video, any comment, and then screenshot it and just send me proof on Instagram letting me know that you're subscribed and that you left a comment, and I pick one lucky person to get a free piece of merch in every video. So hopefully that can be you. And with that said, peace out, y'all. And if you like this video, you'll probably like these videos as well.